She said she needed space, then jetted off to a tropical island with her ex. I changed the locks, sold her car legally mine, and left her standing outside my apartment. Key useless, parking spot empty. I'm Ryan. I'm 30. Nothing flashy about me, just a regular guy with a decent job, a small apartment, and what I thought was a steady relationship. For almost 2 years, Emily and I were a team. We cooked dinner together, binged the same dumb shows, fought over which side of the bed was ours. For the past year, she'd been living with me full-time. My place slowly became our place. Her stuff filled the bathroom cabinets, her throw pillows took over the couch, and I didn't mind any of it. It felt like the way things are supposed to go when you're building a life with someone. We weren't perfect, no couple is, but there were no loud alarms, no big fights, no cheating accusations or trust issues, or at least none that I saw. I gave her everything I had, not just the keys to my place, but my time, my loyalty, my attention. I even gave her my car. Well, technically it was still under my name, but she drove it like it was hers. She had freedom, independence, support. I wanted her to feel taken care of, safe. I wanted us to last. Then came a Tuesday night, just a regular, boring, nothing special Tuesday. I had picked up dinner on my way home, her favorite Thai place, the one she swore made the best pad see ew in town. She barely touched it. Said she wasn't hungry. Something felt off, but I didn't push it. Emily had those days sometimes. She said she needed to talk, and my stomach instantly sank. You know that feeling, like the air gets heavier? She didn't cry, she didn't yell, she just looked at me and said, "I need space. I think I need to be alone for a bit. Please don't contact me." My heart dropped. I asked if something happened, if I did something, if she was okay. She just kept repeating the same thing, like a script. "I need time, I need space. Don't reach out." Then she packed a bag, grabbed her keys, and left, just like that. I sat there, stunned. No warning, no clue, no answers. 1 minute we were sharing a life, the next she was gone. And the worst part, I respected her wish. I didn't text, I didn't call, I didn't stalk her social media. I gave her space, even though every part of me wanted to scream. I kept telling myself, maybe she's going through something, maybe she's overwhelmed, maybe she just needs to breathe. I was trying so hard to believe the best in her, because that's what you do when you love someone. You give them the benefit of the doubt. But what happened next made me realize I never really knew her at all. I was standing at the kitchen counter, halfway through chopping bell peppers for dinner, when my phone buzzed on the table. I wiped my hands and checked it, expecting a random meme or maybe a grocery reminder. Instead, it was a message from Emily. Short, direct, cold. It read, "Things feel complicated. I need space to think. Don't contact me for a while. I'll reach out when I'm ready." And just like that, it felt like the air got sucked out of the room. Complicated? What did that even mean? We hadn't fought. We hadn't even had a weird day. She kissed me goodbye that morning like everything was fine. I stared at the message for a while, my fingers hovering above the screen. I didn't want to come off as needy or angry. I wanted to respect her request. So I sent back the most neutral thing I could think of. "Okay, take the time you need." I hit send, and then everything went quiet. Days passed. No texts, no calls, no random thinking of you pictures, just complete silence. I kept replaying things in my head. Was it something I said? Did I miss a sign? Did she just wake up one day and feel done? I tried to distract myself. I threw myself into work, overcompensating just to avoid going home too early. But the silence weighed heavier with each passing day. The apartment felt strange without her. The empty coffee mug she always used sat on the counter like a ghost. Her jacket still hung on the back of the dining chair, her shampoo in the shower. It was like she had vanished, but all her fingerprints were still there. And the worst part? I was just waiting, sitting in my own home, pacing, checking my phone like some desperate teenager. I told myself not to spiral. Maybe she really did need time. Maybe she was overwhelmed or anxious or dealing with something personal. So I gave her space. I waited, patient, loyal, hopeful. Then Friday rolled around. I'd just finished dinner alone again when boredom and that creeping sense of unease led me to scroll Instagram. And that's when I saw it. My chest tightened. There she was, Emily, not curled up somewhere processing her thoughts, not on a solo retreat to find herself. She was glowing, radiant under the tropical sun, a drink in one hand and Jordan, yes, that Jordan, her ex, clinging to her side, his arm wrapped around her waist like it had never left. They were on a beach, barefoot, laughing, sipping cocktails. The caption, "Living our best lives, island getaway, reunited." My eyes blurred, my stomach dropped, my jaw actually locked up. Jordan, the ex she told me she never wanted to see again, the one she swore was ancient history, toxic in the past, the same guy she once called a manipulator, and now she was on vacation with him? While I sat here alone, replaying every moment we had, trying to figure out how to fix something I didn't even know was broken. "Space," she said. "Don't contact me," she said. It wasn't about clarity or thinking or needing time. It was about control, about keeping me on ice while she played in the sun with someone she claimed to be done with. And the worst part? I'd paid for everything she left behind. She was on that trip while her stuff was still in my apartment. She left in my car, my name on the insurance. She was out living her best life while I sat there mourning something that clearly meant more to me than it did to her. I felt stupid, used, small. That moment seeing those photos was like a switch flipping. This wasn't confusion anymore, it was betrayal. And not the kind you heal from in a few deep conversations. This was the kind that stays with you. The kind that makes you question not just the other person, but yourself, your judgment, your ability to trust. The pain didn't go away overnight, but something about seeing those photos shifted everything. It was like flipping a switch. The hurt was still there, but it wasn't running the show anymore. Clarity took over. I realized this wasn't some emotional crisis she needed space to sort through. This was strategy. She wasn't trying to find herself. She was just trying to find out if getting back with Jordan was worth it, and she wanted me neatly on standby while she figured that out. That wasn't space, that was manipulation. And once I saw it for what it was, I knew exactly what I needed to do. She asked for no contact? Great. She was about to get exactly that permanently. Saturday morning, I woke up early and didn't waste a second. I called a locksmith. The guy came within the hour and changed the deadbolt and knob on my apartment door. $250. Not cheap, but honestly, best money I've spent in years. Her key was officially useless. That door, my door, was now mine again. I stood there after the locksmith left, staring at the new lock, breathing in this weird mix of sadness and relief. It felt final. But I wasn't done. Next up, the car. Let me give some context. About 6 months back, Emily's old car completely died, some engine issue that wasn't worth fixing. She panicked. She needed a reliable ride for her social media marketing job, which had her bouncing around client meetings all over town. Her credit was trash, and no dealer would give her financing. So I did what a supportive boyfriend does. I stepped in. I bought a Mazda CX-5 for $18,000, 0 cents. Took out the loan in my name. The insurance? My name. The title? All me. Emily made informal monthly payments to me, sure, but legally, the car was mine. She treated it like hers, though added her little touches, her scented car freshener, her fluffy dice swinging from the rearview mirror. She even bragged to her friends about how smooth it drove. But now, knowing she was cruising around a beach with Jordan, while still technically using the car I paid for, that changed things. I grabbed a spare key from the drawer, drove it to a dealership across town, and explained everything. I told them I was the legal owner, I had the title, and I was ready to let it go. They ran a quick inspection and offered me $16,500, 0 cents, pending a final check. I signed the paperwork without hesitation, left the car right there, and Ubered home. Just like that, one more tie to Emily was cut. Her parking spot in front of the apartment? Empty. And it was going to stay that way. As for her stuff, her clothes, her books, a couple of boxes in the spare room, I didn't touch them. I wasn't trying to be vindictive. I wasn't throwing her things out or burning photos. I wasn't posting cryptic messages online. I was just setting a boundary, one she'd never respected in our relationship. She wanted a clean break, no contact, she got it. But the difference now was I was the one in control of that silence. I didn't change the locks out of anger. I didn't sell the car out of revenge. I did it because I realized I'd spent too long trying to keep someone in my life who had already mentally checked out. The trip with Jordan wasn't some casual reconnect. It was her announcing that she'd already moved on, whether she had the decency to tell me or not, and I wasn't going to be anyone's backup plan, not emotionally, not financially, not logistically. The truth is the breakup already happened the minute she sent that "I need space" text. The vacation just confirmed it. All I was doing now was catching up to reality. There was this strange peace in doing all of this. Not dramatic peace, not movie montage peace, just calm, grown-up acceptance. Like cleaning a wound. It stings, but it's what you need. I didn't cry, I didn't scream, I just moved forward, step by step, cutting ties that no longer served me. And with every step I felt a little lighter. I knew she'd come back eventually, maybe with questions, maybe with anger, maybe pretending like nothing happened. But when that moment came, she'd find a new lock on the door, no car in the spot, and a version of me who was no longer waiting. I wasn't the same guy she walked out on. I was the guy who woke up and realized he deserved better. A week later, she came back. Just like that. It was Tuesday night, around 9 p.m., and I was sitting on the couch, trying to focus on some mindless reality show, but my stomach had been in knots all day. Something told me she'd resurface, and I wasn't wrong. I heard keys jangling outside my door, followed by the sound of her trying to unlock it. Her old key scratching at the lock not working. Then came the knocking. No, pounding. "Ryan, what's going on? Open the door!" Her voice wasn't scared or sad, it was annoyed, like I had somehow inconvenienced her by taking control of my own life. I walked to the door slowly, heart pounding, and cracked it just enough to keep the chain on, and there she was. Emily, tan like she'd spent every minute sunbathing, hair curled, nails done, rolling a suitcase behind her like she'd just come home from a business trip. She blinked at me, confused. "My key isn't working. Did something happen?" I stayed calm, steady. "Yeah," I said. "I changed the locks. You asked for space and no contact. So I made it permanent." For a second, she didn't react. Then her whole face changed. Confusion turned to anger like flipping a switch. "What? I just needed time. You can't lock me out of my own home." She stepped forward, but the chain held firm. I looked at her, not yelling, not emotional, just done. "You went on vacation with Jordan while asking me to disappear. I saw the photos, Emily." "Looks like you figured things out." And just like that, the panic showed up. Her eyes got wide, her voice softened. "That was just a trip. We're friends." I laughed under my breath. Friends don't ghost their partners and fly to a tropical island for cocktails and couples photos. Friends don't pose under waterfalls holding hands. It was a weak excuse, and she knew it. Then her eyes drifted to the empty parking spot in front of the building. "Where's my car, Ryan?" she asked, slower now, like the pieces were starting to click into place. "It's not your car," I replied. "It's mine. My name, my loan, my insurance. You just drove it. I'm selling it. It's at the dealership now." Her jaw dropped. She actually looked stunned, like it had never occurred to her I might do something to take my power back. "You're stealing from me," she shouted. "I'm calling the cops." I stayed completely still. "Go ahead. Tell them how your ex-boyfriend changed the locks on his apartment after you went on vacation with your ex-boyfriend. And tell them how he's selling a car that's legally his. Let me know how that plays out." She froze, phone in hand. Not because she was scared, because she didn't have a comeback. Then her eyes narrowed and her voice dropped into this bitter tone I hadn't heard in a long time. "You planned this," she spat. I didn't flinch. "No, Emily, you did. You planned a trip with Jordan and told me to leave you alone. I did exactly that. You made it clear where I stand, and I listened." Right then, her sister Brooke came storming up the walkway like it was some high school drama. "Ryan, why is she locked out?" she barked. Emily looked at her, now crying, and wailed, "He's selling my car!" Brooke glared at me. "After everything she's done for you?" That's when something in me just snapped. Not with anger, but with finality. I didn't yell, I didn't explain, I just stated the truth. "It's my apartment, my car." She told me not to contact her. Then she went on a beach trip with Jordan. "You want proof? Check her Instagram. This conversation's over." Emily started demanding her stuff back. I didn't argue. I just said, "Text me a time. You'll get your things, but you're not coming in." And with that, I shut the door, locked it, stood there for a few seconds with my hands still on the knob. My hands were shaking, heart thudding, but deep down, it felt good. Not good like revenge, not good like victory, good like peace, like drawing a final line after months of giving and doubting and hurting. That moment was the close of a chapter I should have ended long ago. Emily made her choices, I made mine, and this time, I didn't choose her, I chose myself. The next morning, the circus continued. Brooke and their mom, Karen, showed up at my apartment to collect Emily's things. Karen had tears in her eyes before she even knocked, already in full sympathy mode. I opened the door and calmly pointed them to the boxes, everything Emily had left behind, neatly packed and untouched. Karen looked around like she was trying to soak up some drama, then shook her head with that tired, "I raised a saint" expression. "You didn't have to be so heartless," she said, like I'd tossed Emily out into the street with nothing. I didn't yell, didn't argue, just repeated the truth. It was my car, my apartment. She lied, she disappeared, and she betrayed me. They didn't like it, but they didn't have much to say after that. They took the boxes, muttering under their breath, as if dragging out the shame would somehow restore Emily's image. I let them go. I had already started letting it all go. That same afternoon, the messages started rolling in, Emily first. At first, it was half apologies, things like, You didn't understand what I needed, and I just wanted time to think. Then the tone shifted. Demands. She asked for the car's value like she had any claim to it. I didn't respond. Then came Brooke. Then Karen. All three got blocked. Clean, quiet, done. But Emily wasn't done. She spun up a story to our mutual friends, framing herself as the heartbroken girlfriend blindsided by a cruel man. She said I kicked her out, stole her car, and ghosted her. Some people bought it, some didn't. A few reached out to hear my side, most didn't bother. And honestly, that was fine with me. I wasn't trying to win a popularity contest, I was reclaiming my peace. Then out of nowhere, my landlord reached out, said they received an anonymous complaint about loud disturbances from my unit. Funny how that only happened right after Emily got blocked. I explained everything to the property manager, showed proof she wasn't on the lease, that we had broken up, and there'd been no issues since. They dropped the complaint immediately. But that wasn't Emily's last shot. A few days later, I got a letter in the mail. Her lawyer was demanding $10,000 for the car and emotional damages. The letter looked like it had been drafted by someone's cousin who failed English. Typos, bad formatting, no legal ground. My lawyer sent back a real response. Car title. In my name. Screenshots. Her text telling me not to contact her, and the Instagram vacation photos with Jordan, dated and geotagged. The cherry on top, warning that if she kept pushing, we'd file a restraining order. That was the last I heard from her. The car sold for $16,350, 0 cents. After taxes and fees, the money hit my account clean. No strings, no guilt. Just the start of something better. Emily, from what I hear, moved back in with her parents. She's been whining on social media about how cruel life is and how she was abandoned. Jordan bailed, just like I expected. He was never going to stay. He was the island fantasy, not the real deal. Her family's still enabling her, but they can't fund her old lifestyle. She's stuck now, not because I was heartless, but because she gambled with someone who loved her and lost. My apartment feels like mine again. I repainted the living room, got new furniture, tossed every trace of her from the space. It's quieter, yes, but it's peaceful. For the first time in a long time, I wake up without anxiety in my chest, without wondering if I'm enough, without walking on eggshells around someone who was already halfway out the door. The revenge wasn't dramatic, no public blow-ups, no screaming matches. It's quiet consequences. She wanted space, she got it. She wanted time to think, she got all the time in the world now, on the outside looking in. And me? I'm good. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm just free. I've learned a lot, mostly about how love without respect is just a performance. And I'm not in the business of performing anymore. I'm moving forward, smarter, stronger, no regrets.